In today's news, we're starting with my absolute favorite Games Workshop product, and that is Blood Bowl! And this time around, everybody, we're getting 2 new teams and a brand new starter box for a brand new season. Season 3 is upon us, and as you can see, it is Bretonnian Knights. Well, there are knights in there, it's not just knights, but it is a lot of knights, versus Khemri, which I personally think is fantastic because that is literally the old world starter set, and I love seeing these 2 teams appear in Blood Bowl. Now, the Bretonnian team, which we're looking at here, is brand new. They have never been in Blood Bowl before, which I find kind of strange, actually. They had Empire. Maybe they felt that it was too much of an overlap. No, I know what the real reason is. I bet the Bretonnians thought it was a peasant's game. Well, a peasant's game it is no longer, because we have knights in this team. Specifically, a lot of knights, but also 2 Grail Knights, who are your blitzers, and I am looking at the details of this team. I read the article through, and I'm actually very excited about this team. I like teams that are a little finicky, that are high risk, high reward, and that's exactly what these Bretonnian teams are being described as. You don't get any big guys, but they have a lot of special abilities that help keep them on their feet and able to hold on to the ball. And I mean, just look at these gorgeous miniatures. Like, they look fantastic. And of course, we have to check out their coin, their trophy, which is a grail. It makes sense. I love the little frog in it, though. That is such a beautiful touch. And the balls look delightful. But the Bretonnians aren't the only team that we're getting. We are also seeing the return, and oh my gosh, are these boys getting a glow up, of the Khemri Nightmares, which of course is the Tomb Worlds, Tomb Kings team. And honestly, I think they also look fantastic. I have played a number of undead teams. I have both the classic undead team, I have the necromantic horrors, and I also have the vampires. Are you noticing an undead theme in my teams? That's because I love them. So I will probably be picking up this set, but I actually don't know if I'm super interested in running the Khemri team because I've played undead a lot, so I kind of feel like I know how they run, and I want to try something different. Some breathing force, perhaps, like the Bretonnians, which is what I'm really excited about. But I have to point out that the Khemri team has the far superior coins, but especially the balls. Look at that cat. Look at that cat. Stare at that cat for me for a while as I stare at that cat, because it's adorable and I want to paint it so badly. Also, the trophy with the little tomb and the ghostly magic. I do love it. Now, this is a brand new set, so we are getting an official new rulebook. We are getting a variety of other things, and I think the funniest thing to me that they are really emphasizing in this box set are these lovely status markers, which, oh my gosh, GW, thank you so much for catching up to the rest of the community, because holy hell, has the community been producing these kinds of things for ages to help make the game more smooth, to be able to keep track of what things your characters have done. And it's nice to see that they've actually caught up to that and given us official markers. I think they look pretty good. I think they need more of them and a greater variety, and they should be free because we needed these long time ago. And it's kind of silly that it's only taken them until now to actually give us this, when the community has been producing these for genuinely ages. Oh, I wanted to show you the glow up of these Khemri teams really fast because we looked at them. They look fantastic, but I want to show you what they looked like before. Look at how beautiful they were. I kind of miss the giant derpy heads. I just had to throw that in there because I found this old team because I was like, what did they look like previously? These are clearly new sculpts. The new sculpts look fantastic, but they have really shrunk. They've started to shrink the head sizes of all the Skellymen that GW produces, and I miss when GW Skellymen had giant oversized heads. I just had to throw that in there. But honestly, overall, I'm extremely excited for when this finally releases. I don't believe it is due out until sometime in 2026, so here's hoping we get it sooner rather than later. I want to get my hands on it. I want to paint all of these beautiful Bretonnian knights. Like, they just look so good. They look so good. And I'll add them to my Bretonnians. Yay! Up next, we're moving into the realms of Space Marines because, I mean, it's Games Workshop. They can't help themselves. They love their Space Marines, and let's be honest, a lot of us do too. But this time, we're getting a little bit of a focus on the Ultramarines because they've been getting some updates recently. A number of characters have been getting some glow-ups, and we have a brand new one to really focus on today because we have a brand new Mardius Calgar. Look at how majestic he is. He's honestly perfect, I think, for this character. Strong looking, chonky, massive shoulders. But I'll be honest. I will be honest. I actually kind of think he's boring. The one thing that I will say is GW absolutely nailed it with his tactical rock because he doesn't just have a tactical rock. No. He's an Ultramarine, which means that he gets a Roman column as his tactical rock. Chef's kiss, super appropriate. But honestly, the model I actually kind of find a little bit boring. Like, it's fine. It looks great. He looks very much like an Ultramarine, but because the motif for Ultramarines is just the Roman Empire, I feel like there's only so much GW's willing to really go with that. And so they actually kind of downplay. And I feel like as far as a character model, he's kind of okay, but not really that thrilling to me. Now, who I will say is a lot more thrilling is Cato Sicarius, because
It is I! Cato Sicarius!
Excellent, yes. And he has a banner, which means he's infinitely cooler in my brain than anybody else who doesn't have a banner, because I'm a sucker for banners. So I thought this guy looked really cool, right? I was like, wow, Cato looks really cool, actually. I like the helmet. I like the pose. He's walking on some steps, which actually feels a little bit more realistic and natural rather than just standing on another tactical rock like everybody else is. So that's cool. And then I continued to scroll down and I was like, yep, I like the close-ups. That's cool. And then I saw this banner and I was like, holy shit, I don't care about any of the special named characters. I just want the Victress Honor Guard because I want that massive gosh darn banner with that Ultramarine absolutely crushing Gene Stealer, I think it is. It looks like a Gene Stealer to me. So, I mean, it's just honestly amazing. Like, genuinely just astounding. I love him. I actually, this is my favorite Ultramarine model to date. I'm not even that big of an Ultramarine fangirl. I think they're fine. I don't really dislike them, but I'm also not the biggest fan of them. But that banner is just so gosh darn cool to me. So I approve. That's my favorite. Who cares about Mardius Calgar or Cato Sicarius? I just want this banner. Give it to me now. Hey guys, I'm just jumping into the video to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because I know most of you aren't. If you're into the spicier side of the content, then you should join my VIP page. New members get 50% off their first month subscription, and I really hope to see you there. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the video. That's right. You thought we were done talking about Ultramarines, but sadly, no. I mean, actually, it's not that sad. We are getting to talk about Terminators now, which is everybody's favorite Space Marine model. Argue with me in the comments down below if Terminators aren't your favorite Space Marine model, and I'll fight you. Not actually, but I might come in and be like, you are lying to yourself. You love Terminators. We all love Terminators. But again, my problem with the Ultramarines is that their motif, while interesting, you know, everybody loves Rome. We've all thought about the Rome once a day, every day for the entire existence of our lives. But I kind of find these guys boring. Like, they're not really doing it for me specifically. And I don't really blame them for that. I just don't find the poses that interesting, and I don't really think there's anything that interesting going on their armor. Whereas, like, I'm going to compare them to the Space Wolves, who got to be all, like, fuzzy and have a lot of furs and, like, other stuff on them, which was really cool. Or even the Thousand Sons, who have, like, big, cool helmets and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like the Ultramarines kind of got the short list here when it comes to just being aesthetically pleasing. At least they have a very pretty color. And, you know, even the lightning claws, like, I love lightning claws. I think they're so fun. I think they're kind of ridiculous, honestly. Like, going in and just, like, slashing like this just seems so silly. It makes sense for Wolverine because he can retract them. So he can go for a normal punch and then just shoot them into you. But, like, when they're just there on your fist at all times, I just feel like it's going to be detrimental. But again, I'm not super thrilled with the poses, not super thrilled with, like, the vibe. But again, I'm also just not the biggest Ultramarine fan. And I think their motif is a little bit lacking in regards to creativity and with what GW wants to do with it. But overall, very cool to see new Terminators. We all love Terminators. And frankly, I think they look still pretty cool, despite the fact that I am criticizing them very heavily because they're my favorite Space Marine unit, as well as yours. Next, we're going to take a look at something new from the LVO. We got a preview of a brand new Kill Team set coming, and frankly, I think it looks pretty cool. We've got some new Tau models, we have some new Space Wolf models, and I mean, just look at them. I even know they're not Terminators, but we just talked about the Ultramarines and how kind of boring they look. Look at how cool these Space Wolves look just in this preview. So I'm very excited about these. Also, I have a bone to pick. A bone to pick with GW. Because for ages and ages and ages, they have told us that there are no wolves on Fenris. Well, then I ask you, Games Workshop, what the F is this Fenrisian wolf as part of this beautiful Space Wolf kill team? I mean, they honestly look great. Look at those beautiful Space Wolves. I'm not even the biggest like Space Wolf supporter. Magnus did nothing wrong. I will stand by that forever until I am dead. But I think these guys look bloody fantastic. But they're Fenrisian wolf. They labeled it. They exist. I'm just saying, confirmed. Confirmed. Nope, that's confirmed. We have a picture and it's labeled as a Fenrisian wolf. It is confirmed. But let's also talk about our Tau, because honestly, I think these models look really cool, and I actually don't recognize this particular unit for the Tau. I know they're Firecast, but I don't actually know if these are brand new sculpts or if we are getting a glow up on these guys. But honestly, they look really cool. They're very chonky. They look for a person unit, like an individual unit that isn't just a full-on mech suit. These guys actually look really strong, which I feel like is not something you would say about Tau normally, because they are kind of meant to be a little bit of like glass cannony. Not quite the same way that the Eldar or the Drukhari sometimes can be, but they're squishy unless they're in their armor. I mean, to be fair, this is some pretty chonky armor for Firecast, from what I've seen at least, because I have not invested that much time into diving super into Tau lore and their various units, but I think these guys look really cool. Like, I think this Kill Team set looks really neat. I'm very excited. I'm gonna be really hung up on this Fenrisian wolf thing for a while, just like internally. I'm gonna have to really internalize that, but I think it's gonna look cool. I mean, Kill Team sets in general, I think, are very well received. I think they're a great way for people to get introduced into the game. I think that they are a great way to collect a variety of unique models for your units. If you're wanting to play, like if you've been collecting Space Wolves forever and you want some new guys, here you go. Here's a new way to get some guys while also getting to have a perfectly good squad to be able to use in a very fun game that you can then also add to your larger game. I don't know. I just think it works. I like the Kill Team format. I really like this set, and it was cool to see it previewed at LVO. Now, we have some video games to talk about. Dawn of War 4 was announced earlier this year, and we have a new trailer that leaves me cautiously optimistic about the game. I was already pretty excited just knowing that they were making a new Dawn of War, especially since they had recently announced and released the remaster of the original Dawn of War, which just honestly is bloody fantastic, and I still would highly encourage you to go pick that up if you haven't played it before, or if you haven't played it in a really long time, because genuinely the remaster is fantastic. But we have this new game coming out, Dawn of War 4, and this trailer has left me, as I said at the beginning, cautiously optimistic. I think the gameplay looks pretty good here. I know there are some concerns of it's a little flashy, it gives people a little bit of vibe from Dawn of War 3, which a lot of people really didn't like, but I feel like there is a larger focus on larger groups of units, and the main thing that I am missing from this preview is really getting to see a little bit more detail of the specific bases that we'll be building, because that is really what I like about this game. I am, as a sort of noob to RTSs, I like to turtle. I like to really build up my base before I go hardcore into a enemy or something like that, and I just want to see more of that. And we do get a little bit of a preview, as we just saw, of the bases, and it does seem like they're really building them up, which again is why I'm cautiously optimistic, because I'm like, okay, this looks a little flashy, but it also feels more like Dawn of War 1, at least from my experience with it, and that is exciting to me, because I want this game to be good. I want it to be good so badly because I really, really enjoyed the first game. And honestly, I really enjoyed Dawn of War 2 as well. I didn't play too much of Dawn of War 3. I actually don't know if I played any of Dawn of War 3. But the original game and the second game, I absolutely love. And I think it's really interesting that, like, they're finally actually coming out with this game. Like, I don't know if they were just waiting to see if their remaster did well, or if they had been planning this for a while, just because Games Workshop's product as a whole has been rising in popularity. Space Marine 2 did really well. We've been getting animations, etc. So maybe they were just like, the time is now. But I'm really glad to be seeing a new RTS come out that is based around Warhammer 40k, because I just think it's a really appropriate theming for that style of game. The one thing that I am sitting there here going is like, okay, I love that we're seeing orcs. I love that we're seeing Space Marines. I love that we're getting Adept Mechanicus, which is really cool. And I believe what is the last, let me go to the, so Adept Mechanicus, Orcs, Space Marines, and Necrons. So I love that we're getting Necrons in there. I love, I guess we're getting 2 Xeno and then 2 Imperial. Yeah. You know what, that works. Where's the Chaos? That's my one criticism here of the 4 starting factions is, where the heck is my Chaos faction? Like, I love that the Mechanicus is there, but where, like, Chaos Marines at least? Like, even generically, just Black Legion, please? Maybe in a DLC down the line. I just hope it's free. I don't want to have to pay to be able to play as Chaos Marines or something like that down the line. That's my one concern, but this is going to be out in 2026, so you'll probably be seeing me play it on the channel. And if you're excited for that, let me know down in the comments. We're sticking in the realms of video games, but this time we're focused on a CRPG. And a CRPG that, oh my god, I cannot wait for it to come out, because you see, I love Dark Heresy. I think it's amazing. I loved Rogue Trader when I played it, both the tabletop edition and the digital edition, and now we're getting Dark Heresy in digital, and I am so excited, especially since it genuinely feels like they are making them vastly different from each other, which is perfect, because they're vastly different games despite sharing the system. I'm going to let the trailer continue to play, and I'm going to talk over it a little bit more, because genuinely, I can't wait. Like, Owlcat did such a good job with Rogue Trader. They did such a good job with Rogue Trader. Like, oh my gosh, such a good job. And I have such high expectations of what I will be doing for this Inquisitor in Dark Heresy. Like, oh my goodness, it's going to be so cool. And I think it looks amazing already. I mean, it's going to be easy for them to build upon because they have the engine already. There's a lot of backgrounds that they can build off of and reiterate on to create this new environment. And it's so cool. And I love that we're going to a new, like, a completely different region of space. So it's not even going to feel like Rogue Trader necessarily. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm just watching this trailer and just imagining my playthrough, and it's gonna be so many hours, and I cannot wait. I just can't wait. If you didn't watch my Rogue Trader playthrough, I spent like 100+ hours in that game. It was ridiculous, and I loved it, and I just... I'm so sad that I'm on the I can't preview this. I'm so sad that I can't preview this because GW has me on their ban list. God! Night Lords! It's gonna be so cool. I'm calm. I'm fine. I need this game to come out sooner rather than later. I know it's scheduled for sometime in 2026, which is extremely exciting. God, I hope it's in like the first month of 2026, because I really want to play it. Like, every choice entails sacrifice. So good. Every mark leaves a stain. Yes, it does. Uncover the darkest. This game is gonna leave a stain all over my soul, and I can't wait. Genuinely, I can't emphasize how much I really, really enjoyed the original tabletop version of the game, and I can't wait to play the digital version. So, hope you guys are excited to see that when it comes out. I know that I am. We have one more thing to talk about before we wrap up today. Let's move on. Last but certainly not least this week, we need to talk about the 4 new combat forces coming out for Legion Imperialis, because oh my gosh, has it been a while. And I think these combat forces look pretty cool. If you've never played Legion Imperialis, this is actually a fantastic way to jump into the game. We have, of course, our Astartes starter set, which looks fantastic. This really actually reminds me a lot of what we originally got in the original 2-player starter set for this game. And it's kind of nice to see that repeated, but have a little bit of variety in there, which is genuinely very cool. So if you're wanting to start Astartes, this would be a fantastic way to do so, especially considering you get a whole bunch of tanks on top of all of these little Legion guys. Like, just look how cute they are. God, I love the scale of this game so much. Like, they are tiny and they're so fun to paint. It is ridiculous. My Death Guard, I will continue working on them. Don't worry. It's a slow process, but I do plan on finishing them at some point because I do still want to play this game and actually just move these little guys around the board and play with all of my like terrain. It's gonna be amazing. But the force that I'm actually the most excited for is this Mechanicum force because it looks badass. Like I love these little guys. I love Mechanicus. I especially love the Mechanicus during the Horse Heresy era of Warhammer. I just think they're really cool. And I think the mechs just look awesome. Again, you get a bunch of tanks, you get a bunch of walkers. It just is a very cool little force to build out. And I think it's really fun. On top of that, we also got the Solar Auxilia. Oh, I guess there's technically not 4. There's 3. You can just make the Legion either Chaos or Astarte or like Loyalist. Okay, sorry, not 4 combat forces, but 3, because our last one is the Solar Auxilia, which is of course the Imperial Guard from back in the Horus Heresy era. And honestly, again, a really cool set. Like you get a bunch of little guys, but then you also get like Okran, you get some Sentinels, and then you get just, do you want tanks? And do you want artillery? And you just a lot of really big guns? Cool. This is what you want because look at them all. Just look at them all. It's beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. So these are coming out soon. We don't know officially when they're going to be out because of course Games Workshop never likes to tell us when they're actually releasing anything. But hopefully these will be out sooner rather than later. And if you've ever been interested in getting into Legion Imperialis, this would be a fantastic way to do so. All right, that has been it for this week in hobby news. I've been Angela, and thank you so much for watching. Before I head out, I want to give a massive thank you to not only my YouTube members, but also my patrons, because without your guys' support, we would not be able to do this. So thank you very, very much. And remember, if you do want to support the channel, you now get access to the private Hobby Night Discord, regardless of whether or not you join the Patreon or become a YouTube member. So if you want to chat with me, share with me your projects, and just be able to hang out a little bit more, that's the way to do it. I've been Angela. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have a lovely hobby night, everybody. Bye.